Hey guys, it's Collie. I'm gonna be talking a bit about cosplay competition stories. I've been in some odd situations with cosplay contests that have put me on edge a little. Not the most fun. I've only ever taken part in walk-on contests. I'm gonna be doing my first craftsmanship contest coming up, and I'm not really that competitive with it. Some people though. Some people are very competitive. First of all, there was a competition I was at recently. I was in line. There was probably over 50 people there that were doing the on-stage walk-on. They didn't think about when you got off stage. It was so crowded getting off. I'm not gonna name specific names or, you know, cons, because I don't want to make them sound bad, obviously. You might be able to infer based on the ones I have been able to go to, though, during the never-ending pandemic we have going on here. I don't know how old the person was behind me in line. I think it was a she, so I'll say she. Was a really nice girl. I was like, oh my god, your cosplay is so cute, whatever. And I was just being like, we had like a friendly conversation going. They complimented mine, and I was like, oh, so great. Her mom gets in line with her, and her mom is like, do you guys remember Toddlers and Tiaras? Toddlers and Tiaras, but make it cosplay. Her mom was literally, might have not been mom either, might have been like caregiver, but the way that they were acting, I would assume it was her mom. She was literally like non-stop tugging at this girl's cosplay, saying like what she needed to do on stage, saying she'll like act out the movements behind the stage, and she was like literally doing the Toddlers and Tiaras mom stuff in front of everyone. She was like in line with her daughter, and I felt so bad for this little girl. So I tell this mom like, oh, that's really sweet, like you guys are so great, or something like that. I don't know. I'm like, oh, you guys look awesome, because I think her mom was in cosplay too. And her mom looks at me and goes, yeah, we win a ton of competitions annually. So we were actually just in California and we won a cosplay competition recently. And I forgot the girl's name, obviously, but she was like, oh, me and so-and-so, we're like just like doing all these contests. She wins a lot. She got this title at the last one, and we make it all together. And I'm like, well, that's a great activity you guys are doing together. And it was just so toxic, because in cosplay, like, I don't really know why we have the contests, to be honest. Like, it makes sense with craftsmanship, but I don't think walk-on should really be judged. That's my opinion. It's a little extreme. It's a little harsh. I think you should just be able to show off your cosplay with no contest to begin with. Craftsmanship stuff makes sense, but this wasn't the craftsmanship contest, so it didn't make sense to be, like, super competitive with. Even then, I feel like craftsmanship at times, like, it's kind of weird when you put a 15-year-old who, I know some contests have like beginner and advanced. I know some contests have like 15-year-olds who have only got like a couple paychecks or like what they could from their parents putting together cosplay, versus like 30-year-olds that have these like whole hobby rooms and like great resources, awesome jobs, competing. And I don't really think that's right, personally. I think it hurts that 15-year-old's confidence at times if they're not very strong mentally about it, and I don't really think that's fair. So that's why I'm not a big believer that anything should be competitive in cosplay. I think it's costume play. It should be entirely fun and just enjoyable. I don't think there should be a competition in it, but I like showing off my cosplay, so that's why I participate in them. So when this mom just had this attitude, I was like, this poor girl, she's probably not having that much fun with it. If like, I can imagine if I had my parent, thank goodness, I never had overbearing parents. My parents are great. I was literally in line, and someone, like my mom came up to me and was just like, oh yeah, she was winning this and this, and you better do good on stage. And she was telling her she needed to hold a prop that was like way too uncomfortable for her. Like, this girl couldn't hold it. It was so messed up. And I felt so bad for her. I'm sorry too if like I misinterpreted the situation and they knew who they were, but that just seemed very Toddlers and Tiaras-ish. I think that's why a lot of contests too for cosplay usually have an 18 and up category and like a teenager category, but because it's walk-on with this one, they just kind of blend it all in together. I felt so horrible for her. So then, on a different contest, there was a judge who was a Harley Quinn cosplayer, okay? And she only cosplayed Harley Quinn pretty much. I think she did a few others because I checked out her Instagram. I'm not too big into DC stuff or like superhero stuff. I'm mainly like an anime and gaming type person. And she was a judge at this contest, and she literally picked one of the like 3 Harley Quinn cosplayers as as the winner for the walk-on. And ma'am, you're a Harley Quinn cosplayer and you're just picking one of the Harley Quinns up there. There was some really amazing cosplays, not to say the Harley Quinns weren't. They looked gorgeous, they really did. But that's a little bit predictable. I don't know, at that point it just kind of seems, it seems a little bit unfair, because everyone else, if that was the case, would have dressed up as Harley Quinn too. I'm sure all of us have a Harley Quinn cosplay from some phase lying around somewhere, or maybe we're currently into her. I know I wanted to dress up as her for a long time, but I was just kind of sitting there like, wait, did she seriously just like pick someone dressed up in the same cosplay as her as like a judge? Like, I know, not to say theirs were good, but like I think there was certainly some up there that like performance wise did some crazy cool performance things. And if you're judging a performance, the girl walked on stage and did a split and walked off, and I don't know, that's just, there were some really awesome ones that you could have judged her against. So I don't know if it was because she did a split or if it was because she was dressed as Harley Quinn. We'll never know, because the judge was also dressed as Harley Quinn, and that's all the judge would cosplay as. So I guess if you're seeing it as not truly competitive, then like that's just a funny little thing. But like there was some people taking it really seriously. I just don't really see that as right though. It's like favoritism. It's like if I was dressed as let's say I was dressed as like a Genshin Impact character. Like, let's say I was doing my Eula cosplay and there was like 2 Eula cosplayers in the contest and one of them was just athletic and I chose one of them even though there's a ton of other performances that also did athletic things. I don't know. I just don't think that's right. Someone that looks the same as you. And you shouldn't just pick people because they look the same as you. That's screwed up. That's so messed up. It's a life rule. Don't pick people just because they look the same as you. So there was also another time. So I was at a local college. They're a huge tech school that basically they host a lot of conventions, and I was at a winter convention that they host every year that's mainly cosplayer centered, and it was the first one, actually the second one I ever did. And it was just fun. I actually got really embarrassed and flustered and didn't really do anything. But I didn't know anyone there, and backstage, the people, so there's like a club at this college that runs these conventions, and they're like a cosplay troupe kind of thing, and they were so mean. So literally, like, so I found the room finally. I was 10 minutes early, and they scolded me for not being there sooner because they were trying to get their line in order. I'm like, sorry, this was my first time on your campus, and I literally for 20 minutes straight was looking for this room, like legit. I wasn't trying to be 10 minutes early, which was late to them. In some cultures though, that's the way it is, so I understand to some people that could be offensive. So they were, okay, so I'm backstage, and mind you, I think at the time I was like 18, 19, so I wasn't like a kid, and a lot of people back there were not kids. But they were being so mean to us backstage. So first of all, we were back there for an hour, hour and a half, and a lot of people in cosplay, that's mad uncomfortable. Which you do it for the contests. So they told us not to sit down anywhere, and they were sitting down. They were also partaking in the contest, their cosplay troupe. They were all dressed up and stuff for it, and they were sitting down, and they told us we couldn't. And then on top of that, they just were not being friendly to anyone that wasn't part of their troupe. And they were just literally one of the members of the troupe, I don't know what they were dressed as. I wish I knew who this person was, because this was the rudest thing I ever experienced. After this, I literally said, I'm so glad I didn't go to that college. That college is just not one that I would have wanted to go to. This person, literally, I was backstage and I was waiting to go on. I was like 3rd in line, and there was people, like 3 people behind me that were talking. They were like younger kids too that were talking. And, you know, they were being quiet too. They weren't being that loud. And they looked at me, this student who also wasn't much older than me, and looked at me in the most obnoxious way possible, that like I literally just wanted to go bam, you know, like they were so obnoxious. They go in my face and they just do one of those loud, I'm not gonna do it on camera because it's an obnoxious face, but they just did one of those huge like in my face, and oh my god, that was so mean. Why would you treat somebody that way? So I've had some experiences with contests, and you're not missing out on much if you don't do cosplay contests. You honestly really don't need to. I didn't do the Anime New York City one. I'm really hoping to in the future. They said I couldn't, that they didn't have room for me in the cosplay contest by the time I applied. It makes sense. I applied in the last week of the contest. I just chose a comfier cosplay to wear to the contest at that point. Not contest, to wear to the competition at that point, and called it a day. So that's okay if you also don't do contests or don't want to. And I've had some fun with them too, but I've also had like some icky experiences, because I don't know, there's just, it's like, for example, that one college that I went to that just had like the convention, that was just a toxic group of people running it. Like, their cosplay troupe was just super duper toxic. I don't know what's going up there. I think they just have a really stuck up attitude. There was like that Toddlers and Tiara's mom at that other contest, like, that's like, I just happened to be next to that person in line, and then with the Harley Quinn cosplayer, like, I don't know, that's just, I guess that happened. I don't know, maybe it might have been her first time judging, or she was just being fun, having fun with it, and she was like, oh, of course, like, I'm gonna pick another Harley Quinn cosplayer, and maybe there wasn't really anything wrong with that. I see it as picking someone alike to yourself, and I don't know. If I'm wearing the color green, I'm not just gonna pick somebody because they are wearing the color green too, at least in a contest. I don't think that's a fair premise to judge someone on. So, I don't know. I've had some interesting experiences with them. I'm gonna do my 3rd or 4th contest. No, I think it's my 4th contest ever coming up. And I'm about to do it at the same place where they had that cosplay troupe that was so rude, but I'm gonna do it again because I'm just gonna like stay away from them and not be anywhere near them. And this time, if they decide to go in my face when I'm not talking and me, then I'm gonna look back at them and go, not talking. To be honest, if I was in that situation again, I'd probably do nothing. I don't like to start stuff. That's not the type of person I am. I can't speak for the bigger ones. These were all local competitions, so like there's no, like, not to say there's no formal thing going, like it's just kind of like a local contest that can just kind of do what they want. I don't know about the bigger contests. I can't speak for them. I'll start speaking for them when I start doing craftsmanship contests too, because I haven't done those. I've only ever been a part of walk-on. But I finally learned to make my own stuff over the past few months, so we'll see how that goes. Hope you guys enjoyed my little rant on contests. Personally, I don't even think they should be a thing, but they are, and I think we should talk about them more often because they're kind of a really big deal for people that put a lot of work into their costume, and I think they should come up more. Alright, I'll see you guys either either Sunday or Wednesday whenever I post next. Thank you for watching. Bye!